The opposite is also true. Behind every broken man is a bitter, vindictive woman.
Behind every Tudor Ramble co-star,
there's no women. Welcome everyone to Tudor Realm Podcast. My name is Richard.
my name is Austin.
This is episode 55. We're talking about the 95th annual Oscars this year.
He means the 95th annual Oscars. We're talking
The
about this
Oscars,
year.
yes.
My name is Austin.
Leviosa.
Leviosa. Expecto Patronum. We're stupid.
But this is actually the first Oscars that I've actually was excited to watch. That's the first time I've ever been able to say that.
Viewers, listeners, we are no longer a part of you. We are higher. We watched the Oscars in completion. We were excited for it. We apologize for our sins.
We actually watched every movie nominated for Best Picture.
I can't even look in the mirror anymore. I can't do it. I just feel like I've left the common people.
That was a long time.
It was actually kind of cool to watch all the films and go, oh, I can actually determine whether that was a snub or whether that was a good win, which in this episode here, we're going to talk to you guys. I'm going to talk to Richard, not you guys, sorry. But through talking to Richard, we'll talk with all of you about the Oscar recap, the big snubs, the big dubs, the big W's of the night. Actor, actress categories, and just general stuff that happened. Hopefully it's entertaining. If not, just look at Richard and look at his nice smile. Not like that. That was creepy.
I'm trying my best.
No, that was really bad. Okay, this should be fun. You want to get into it?
Yeah, let's go right into the big winners of the night. Now, probably everyone knows by now the big winner, Best Picture, Everything Everywhere All at Once. A well-deserved win for this year. However, I do think, in my personal opinion, not whether or not it would actually win, but I think there were some other movies that were mighty close in quality to Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Now, anyone who's been a fan of this channel, I was a day one stan of Everything Everywhere All at Once. We had a video that came out, I think like a month after the movie came out, where we were comparing Everything Everywhere All at Once to Marvel's Multiverse of Madness, which is just offensive to compare. Let's be honest.
It's comparing a Snickers bar to what, like a Craisin?
What the hell is a Craisin? What?
You haven't heard of it, so there you go.
I got a hot take. It's like comparing a Snickers bar to a Twix, because Twix are goated.
Okay, we're not going to get into this argument right now, because that's just incorrect.
All right, comment down below if Twix or Snickers are better. 100% it's Twix. You get the crunch, you get the caramel, caramel, however it was. It's not incorrect. But we had a video comparing Everything All at Once to Multiverse of Madness, and in that video, you see my absolute gleeful, childlike joy of loving this film. And Richard here, in that video, liked the film.
I thought it was a really good film at the time, and but you were just so hyped up on the movie that I looked negative by comparison.
And so all the comments in that video are, and they don't know our names because they just clicked, it's someone that just clicked on the video once, and they go, hey, the dude with hair has to get the dude without hair, the bald guy, just kick him off the pod. Obviously, he has horrible taste.
And, he would if he could, but he's kind of stuck with me. I'm his only friend, so I'm all he has.
Yeah, it's true. It's like no one else will come down to this level. But you know what? Those comments gave me hope because they didn't see all of my hot takes where they'd want me to get kicked off the pod. They just happened to see your hot take, which wasn't even that hot of a take.
It's just that you were just so positive and happy. I felt like I had to drag you down a few notches.
You really keep me in check. It was so sad. I just want some unbridled joy, and you keep me in a cage.
That's not how male friends operate.
It's true. It's true. But man, the film won. Everything All at Once won. By the way, I will take the comment suggestion and kick you off eventually before you're able to kick me off for my Northman take or anything, of course.
Hey, as soon as this channel starts making enough money where I can hire another editor other than Austin, then you're here until I can hire someone else.
So until we make enough money, that'll be about 12 years. We're good. We're set in stone. So everything.
If you want Austin to get kicked off the podcast sooner, go ahead and join our Patreon and
Listen, if you want me kicked off the pod, vote for Snickers in the comments below. Okay, Twix is better. You know it is. Anyways, Everything Ever All at Once. I've been trying to get to this for like.
Oh God, we have
10
so.
minutes. This is ridiculous. Okay.
Hey, you clicked on the Tutor Ramble podcast. You know what you're getting into.
You're getting this Twix bars. That's he expected that. So Everything Ever All at Once won 7 awards. 7 Oscars out of the 11 they were nominated for. This is the biggest win a film has had since Slumdog Millionaire back in 2008-09. Huge accolades. Well-deserved. Phenomenal film. Yeah. Yet, in second place, All Quiet on the Western Front with 4 Oscars. Very impressive.
I was quite surprised. It deserves it. So I was just surprised it got the recognition that it did.
Yeah.
So we actually watched that movie, All Quiet on the Western Front, with our Patreon subscribers. And we have a monthly movie watch party, and along with a book club, and we watched it together with them. It was a great time. I really enjoyed it. If you're interested in joining that, you can click the description below, and shameless plug part 2.
That was such a smooth plug, Richard. You just glided right in there. Oh, All Quiet on the Western Front. You know what? We actually watched that with our patrons, and but actually talking with the patrons about it, we all loved it.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was it was a gripping time. Why do you always say that about these crazy? You're like, it was fun. I loved watching the people die. It was a good time. I guess we had good conversation. Yeah, we did. But the film itself is just brutal.
Yeah, no, it's oh God. A lot of movies show the grim nature of war. Plenty of movies do that, but this was a more unique war film that showed the futility of it.
Yes.
So not only the gruesome nature and the sad nature of the death and how awful it can be, but how awful it can be over quite literally nothing, and how insignificant it can really be.
And World War I being the best war to show that. Mm-hmm. There's a scene in the film, without spoiling, they're in a pit, in a crater. Mm-hmm. And this is a compliment to the film. It is extremely hard to watch.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a war film that is gruesome, fantastic makeup, fantastic cinematography, go watch that. Wow. Deserves the 4 Oscars for sure.
Definitely.
And you know who deserves even more praise than these 2 films alone? The studio A24. If people are not familiar with this, Richard,
definitely my favorite studio.
Mine too. We've talked about this, how it's our favorite studio, and absolutely deserves the praise, because A24 on Oscar night was the first studio in history to win the big 5 Oscar categories, including like actor, actress, screenplay, director, and picture. I think I hit all 5. I think that's the big 5. So A20, and that's because they made the film Everything Ever All at Once. They backed that, and they also had The Whale, which won Best Actor, of course, which we'll talk about later, but also the movie After Sun. Richard, I'm trying to get Richard to see it. We will soon when we have time to watch it. But for those of you listening and watching, go watch After Sun.
I can't wait to watch it. The fact that all of our friends don't like it, but you like it, means that I'm probably going to enjoy this movie.
Don't trust the other people. Plus, we don't have other friends, Richard. Who are you talking about? They are acquaintances at best.
Hey, acquaintances.
But A24, dude. A24 is killing it. I feel like, explain to me from your end just why you love A24.
Well, something that bothers me in modern Hollywood, it is a nitpick, but it gets on my nerves, is how most movies shoot dialogue scenes. Most movie dialogue takes are just hard cuts from character talking to character talking.
Yeah.
And it's just so boring and annoying that there's so many more creative things you could do. Where most A24 scenes, movies, tend to actually do creative dialogue shots where it's not just a hard cut. It's actually putting multiple characters in the same shot, a nice long take, moving around the characters, or having a character that's talking off the shot and actually moves into frame while talking with someone else as someone else moves out. And there's so many different ways. If you want to look at how to shoot dialogue perfectly, 12 Angry Men is the most perfect example of shooting dialogue. And I think A24 really takes that lesson.
A24, I feel, this is a complete assumption, but based on their films I've seen, and a lot of them phenomenal, the studio seems like it gives money to directors and writers and says, here's creative freedom. Make your movie. And it comes through as if like the actual movie loves what they're doing. It comes off passionate and such creative plots, such interesting themes, because A24 just seems to go, hey, make your film. Go at it.
They actually have the creative balls to do interesting stuff that isn't just the slop we normally get.
Right, with a big production studio that's putting you in chains and making sure that you have certain beats to hit, and it has to be in a certain niche. What, or actually,
the corporate way of we have to make a movie that pleases everyone and will ultimately please no one.
I've had that wrong. Not a certain niche, but they try to make it super broad, so it's not made for certain. Right, like everyone, you got to make this so it's appealing to everyone, but it actually appeals to no one. You said it perfectly. Mm-hmm. So A24, thank you for existing.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, phenomenal stuff. And now that we're giving praises to the movies, the films, there's a lot of other praise. Important topic, though. The films that were snubbed. I'm going to list off some films here that got 0 Oscars, okay? Zip. The Banshees of Inisherin, which is a big shock to people because that was also, it's a very Oscar-esque movie as well. The film Elvis, 0 Oscars. The Fabelmans by Steven Spielberg, 0 Oscars. Tar with Cate Blanchett, 0 Oscars. And Triangle of Sadness, which all of you saying, like, of course it got 0 Oscars. Richard and I love that film.
I think it's my second favorite, though possibly I maybe liked it more than Everything Everywhere All at Once, but it's damn close. I think it's second, so good. But still. Oh, God.
It's such a great film, and hey, if people want us to make another video on why we love Triangle of Sadness, we will, because everybody else seems to not love it.
Well, the main thing is almost everyone seems to think that the movie is just a pro-socialist movie. Like,
well,
hey,
eat the rich.
Eat the rich movie. And it is not. It is actually a really nuanced movie that kind of takes jabs at both sides, is a really interesting social critique.
It's like the opposite of this podcast where Richard's only taking jabs at me, innocent Austin, who never makes fun of you. It's not one-sided like this.
Yeah, I never hear your insults.
Not once. I think I didn't directly call you bald this podcast.
They just slick. They slide right off.
Right off that bald head. There we go. You said it perfectly. See, I don't insult you because you beat me to your own punchlines.
Hey, that's why I shaved my head.
You see, it worked.
I beat everyone to the punch on my balding jokes.
And I gotta say, quick compliment, you do actually look good bald. So it's frustrating.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Don't let it get to your head.
That was a scary moment in my life.
Listen, I don't male friendships, I don't like giving compliments, so that hurt to say. You better take that Stuart for the next year. I'll compliment you next year.
Oh no, I'm gonna live off that compliment for the next 6 months. That's
hell yeah.
It's gonna be a core memory.
That's until you see the comments later. They're like, I like Twix and Richard looks horrible bald. It's just they're the double whammy.
The nice thing is they don't know what I look like with hair.
You did look great with hair too.
See, that's the thing. They don't know what they don't miss.
Here's a picture of Richard with hair.
Oh, no,
I just
you
put
don't
it on
have
screen.
That. I don't take social media pictures.
I'll find one.
You're gonna have a hard time finding one.
I'll find one. Again, we rambled. So those big films got snubbed.
Yeah.
And some of them, like Tar, is a fantastic film. Seriously,
it really was.
Wow. And I'm going to say this as a quick snub, too. Aftersun also deserves a ton of acclaim as well. Aftersun's also great. You can't give Oscars to everybody, but it is just surprising that some of these films didn't get one.
Yeah, the fact that John Williams, with
John Williams?
John Williams with Spielberg.
Yeah.
It's 91. This is one of his last. It has to be. We're coming up on some of the last films he's going to be producing.
Yeah, that's going to be a sad day.
So.
He's 91. It's going to be a sad day when John Williams goes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be.
Either retirement or passing. It's going to be a sad time.
Very sad. And Steven Spielberg's even getting older. I mean, he's still not 91, but interesting, though. Spielberg not winning any Oscars. And I think of those films, which do you think was the biggest gut punch where you really wanted a film to win an award?
I think Tar.
I got to agree with you.
Yeah.
It was the most worthy of it as well. Even though we love Triangle of Sadness, we had to be realistic.
Yeah.
Like Tar was both a great film that other people also loved that seemed Oscar-esque.
Yeah, I think for cinematography as well. It definitely, I think it probably could deserve the cinematography award over EEAAO. It may be close, but that would be the one I would pick.
I think All Quiet won cinematography even.
Did it?
I think it did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think Everything Everywhere All at Once won editing. I'll double check that, but I'll have that on screen if we have that wrong.
I would actually say Tar deserves it more than All Quiet on Western Front in terms of cinematography.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
gorgeous shots, long takes, really impressive. And the long takes, what makes that super impressive is getting into Best Actress. Question for you, Richard. Did Michelle Yeoh deserve the Oscar over Cate Blanchett in Tar? And I'm sorry, Michelle Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh, not Yeoh. Yeah.
She deserves it, certainly. But I think it was real close. Yeah, I think if either one, so I was going into it, if either one won, I would be happy.
Right.
But man, it's hard to think of it. It's well deserved, but I do think maybe Cate Blanchett deserved it more.
It's
hard, but I think there was maybe a bit more range.
I am the EEAAO stan here. Can't even say the letters. I am the stan here, and still Cate Blanchett blew me away. She blew me. So I would have been happy with either as well. It's in those situations you just wish both people could get an Oscar.
Yeah.
But Michelle Yeoh, hey, all the credit deserved. But Cate Blanchett just needs to. She's already a stand-in as a vet at this point. She's already won Oscars as well. So it's not like she needed this for her career.
It's probably a factor in giving Michelle Yeoh the Oscar. It was, hey, Cate Blanchett already has several Oscars, so probably was a factor in deciding it. So unsure.
There definitely is, because getting into Best Actor. So Brendan Fraser from The Whale, who did a great job, seriously, won it over Austin Butler as Elvis, and quick acclaim to you haven't seen.
To be fair, there are other nominees, but it was kind of, I think to most people it was going to be between those two.
It was, but also Paul Mescal, who played in Aftersun, also deserved it. I will say I loved him in Aftersun. But the big two who was actually going to win it was Austin Butler versus Brendan Fraser. And I think some of the politics in Oscars, and I don't even know if you consider politics, but just the voting, how it works, is they gave Fraser, and deserved as well. It's not like he didn't deserve the award. But I imagine when they're voting, they're thinking, hey, Brendan Fraser is a veteran. He's also older, and maybe he won't get another chance to win an Oscar down the road. Like, this is his chance to win it. Versus Austin Butler has a whole career ahead of him. And so there's another chance for him to win an Oscar in another film, whereas Brendan Fraser, maybe not. Maybe this is his standout performance, and they won't have the opportunity to give him one again. Do you think that goes on in their minds when they're picking who should actually win the award?
I think so. And mainly because the Oscars inherently is sometimes treated as the pinnacle of the achievement. Like, it's this is the one deserved role, because there's only one award, yet it's made annually, and a film could be amazing and deserve an Oscar, but it comes out the year where, a bunch of other great movies come out. So that's a kind of the unfairness of the timing on how the Oscars work. So I can imagine the politics going, hey, look, he deserves it. If this was last year, he probably would have won. So I imagine they're trying to compensate for people's age.
It's just like Leonardo DiCaprio won for The Revenant, which, don't get me wrong, it's not like he was bad in The Revenant, but I think he deserved an Oscar in at least 5 films over that for his acting performance. We don't know Leo for his performance in The Revenant. You know him for a dozen other films, and maybe the Oscar voting at that time is going, hey, we didn't give it to him this time, or this time. I think it's about time we give it to him. And hey, Fraser deserves it, but it's just maybe Austin Butler was younger, but he did a phenomenal job as Elvis.
It's the one movie of the Oscars I didn't see is Elvis, so I will have to take your word for it.
Take my word for it. I mean, not all the time. Sometimes.
When it comes to movies, I try to.
90%. I think we're like 95. 95, I think we agree on. It's a good number, but Austin Butler, man, what a job. So he deserves accolades. But even what was more interesting than the Best Actor and Best Actress, the supporting actor and actress. Mm-hmm. I was looking forward to the most. And do you want to watch the clip of our man, the one and only Best Supporting Actor? Let's play the clip. Here we go.
And the Oscar goes to...
Oh, she even choked up.
This was such a heartwarming moment to watch.
This is the most genuine man alive.
The man has just such humility that you really feel for him.
He's so grateful.
Just want him to win. Watching this speech made me think that Maybe he wasn't really acting in everything.
It was genuine.
EEAAO. It's
right?
just he played himself.
Thank you.
And he did awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. My mom is 84 years old, and she's at home watching. Mom, I just want an Oscar.
Not a hey, thanks mom for everything. Just
My journey started on a boat. I spent a year in a refugee camp, and somehow I ended up here on Hollywood's biggest stage. They say stories like this only happen in the movies. I cannot believe it's happening to me. This is the American dream.
damn right. Oh,
Let's go. Oh, I love this guy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the Academy for this honor of a lifetime. Thank you to my mom for the sacrifices she made to get me here. To my little brother, David, who calls me every day just to remind me to take good care of myself. I love you, brother.
Why don't you do that to me, Richard?
Thank you to Kendall
never
for
check
all
up
your
on me.
support and everything you've done. Thank you to A24, to Daniels, Jonathan, Jamie, Michelle, and my Goonies brother for life, Jeff Cohen.
Hey, you can pause here. This is just. He goes on just for another minute thanking Ward. It's so touching. And if we were to play any clip here, we're playing our guy Keiko Kwan.
Yeah.
Like, come on. He is just amazing. He's so grateful, humble.
we also
What
got
else
to
was
see him when Harrison Ford was on stage, and that was also a very touching moment. to actually see.
Reuniting from Indiana Jones. Oh, man. And in another speech he did, I think when he won the Golden Globes, he said the first person he thanked is to always respect where you came from. And he said, Steven Spielberg, you gave me a role, my first role. I want to thank you man to man, and said something along the lines of just showing, like, who would have thought to do that? That's such a kind of person to give your accolades to the person who got you in the industry. And it took him 24 years to get another, I think it was 24, I could have that number a little off, to get another big role like EEAAO. He couldn't find work in Hollywood. And instead of, there's two things you could do there. You could say, like, it's everybody else's fault.
Yeah.
You know, no one gave me a role. And you could complain, but the stance he takes on it is just being grateful that he was given the opportunity and that he worked at it. It's he got himself there, but not, of course, with help of other people, but just the humility that it takes to take the ownership of, it took 24 years, but I got here, and thank you for the help. We did it. That's the response right there. It's just so awesome. I love you. Ugh.
And to contrast the humility and the gratitude, we have a second clip.
Oh, good transition. This is the hot button issue in the Oscars right now. This is the clip from, and by the way, with Best Supporting Actor, he was the only winner. Like, that's it.
There was no other.
No.
There was absolutely no other.
Best Supporting Actress was between Jamie Lee Curtis, Stephanie was the Jobu Dubecki in EEAAO, and also Angela Bassett, who played in Black Panther 2. Here's the clip.
And the Oscar goes to...
Jamie Lee
You can see
Angela
Bassett.
Pause and go back. Oh, so everyone online right now is saying that Angela Bassett was not happy with.
Yeah, I mean,
Look, you see. So what do you think? Are people overreacting? Do you think that Angela Bassett was that upset? So
I
her
mean,
facial expression,
maybe.
I can't tell.
It was you did notice that she didn't clap and she
right?
didn't smile.
At least she didn't like boo, I guess.
Hey, at least she didn't go up there and slap her. She didn't slap Jamie Lee Curtis. So.
She held back. She didn't pull a Will Smith, right?
She didn't pull a Will Smith.
But she doesn't seem happy. We'll say that.
Yeah, no, but hey, she did well. She did well in Black Panther 2. It definitely, honestly, the only really good performance of that movie.
Yeah, she was the standout performance. Of course.
There was no other choice. But.
And again, being the Academy, I do think there's a factor in the Academy's head of, we can't give an Best Actress award to someone in a Marvel film. That maybe that goes on in their head. Like and also when EEAAO's winning all these other awards, typically it's a sweep of if you're winning this, you're winning a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing I've seen reaction-wise, and I want to hear what you think on this, is Jamie Lee Curtis winning over Stephanie Hugh. Sorry if I'm getting her last name wrong. HSU, but Stephanie, who plays Jobu Tubeki, who's nominated from EEAAO. Do you think she deserved it over Stephanie?
I do. It's a heartwarming thing, but it's mainly the emotion you feel toward it is a lot of the writing and just the situation and the plot of the movie. I don't think the actress did really well, but it's not
both
like
of them,
yeah, both of them did really well. But in terms of acting performance, I think Jamie Lee Curtis just had a far more range and just far more interesting performance.
You know what? I love my Jamie Lee Curtis here. She did a great job.
Yeah.
I think I'd still say Stephanie.
Really?
More, yeah.
Why do you think so?
I think she had more range in the film just because of her to take on the depressive state of Jobu Tubeki and go to show her complete lack of care, but also the craziness and how much she's given up on life. Mm-hmm. I thought that I couldn't do that. I couldn't do what either of them are doing. But
it's real easy to backseat act.
Oh yeah,
just judge them, and we don't. Yeah,
change that smile. I don't like it.
I acted in high school. I was in a high school play. I'm fit to judge their acting abilities.
See that smile you gave at the beginning of the podcast, not good enough. Do it again. I think Stephanie got the edge there, but I'm not disappointed in either of them winning. Let's be honest. So
the reason why I give the edge to Jamie Lee Curtis is how much of a pretty detestable character she starts off with being, and how heartwarming she becomes in the end.
Fair.
And it's just somehow is able to make a pretty detestable character so charming, and you're really rooting for her, like, kind of little love story in the alternate universe. So.
I mean, she does awesome when she turns into that sumo wrestler type person.
What a fun role for her.
Yeah.
That must have been
congrats to she's a vet, and I can't believe she hasn't won an Oscar already.
Yeah, I was surprised when this is her first Oscar ever. Seriously. Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
I thought she already won something already.
That's an iconic name. When you think of names like that, you're like, they haven't won? But only so many can go out every year. And those were the big awards. Now, do you think that there's any other snub that comes to mind, or do you think your biggest complaint was it that Cate Blanchett maybe should have won, or what else would there be?
Well, Cate Blanchett, I think maybe deserved it over deserved Best Actress. With in all honesty, most of them made sense.
Most of them made sense.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with most of them. It's mainly because I liked quite a few of the films.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's not like there was a clear winner for me. So I mean, especially with the fact that we liked Triangle of Sadness and nobody else did. So I think most people, the only Oscar movie they probably saw was EEAAO, and maybe The Whale. So
2022 was a great year for films. I have no complaints. There's at least 3 films I could take and say they were excellent and phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
And there's other films I'd still say are great.
The less Marvel movies we watch, the more I have fun at the theaters.
Isn't that weird?
It's amazing.
There's a direct correlation.
Actually watching cinema versus just content.
But listen, Marvel can be fun again if they just...
I hope so. But
we hope.
I doubt it, though. I really doubt it.
Me too, but maybe we'll be proven wrong. Who knows?
Honestly, just all of Disney is gone down to the point like animation. We didn't even touch on that. How?
Oh my goodness!
Pinocchio.
Wait a second.
And Puss in Boots too.
How did we not mention that?
I don't know.
Hold on. Stop wherever you were going. You were going in this direction. I'm just helping you.
You're trying to stop me.
Don't stop. Continue. What were you just about to say? Say it loud.
The fact that Disney has lost so much edge that they weren't even really nominated. They had no movie that was deserving of Best Animated Picture this year. Like Turning Red. Like even
Was
if
that Disney?
Yeah.
I thought it was Pixar. Oh, well,
Disney Pixar.
Wait, that is... Yeah,
Yes.
my bad. That's Disney Pixar.
Even if you liked the movie, it didn't deserve
Wasn't
the
great,
win.
no.
It's not Pinocchio or Puss in Boots 2.
What was your reaction to Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio beating Puss in
Deserved.
Boots 2?
But snubbed. Puss in Boots 2 was snubbed.
You deserve better, kitty soft paws, burrito.
Good. But yeah, all of Disney animation, all of their big franchises, has just been taking a swift trip down the toilet. And the less I watch of them, the more I enjoy movies.
Wow.
So
I mean, hey, when you watch Pinocchio, though, excellent film.
yeah, no,
Yeah. We knew
honestly,
it was going to win the
it would
Oscar.
be
Everybody did.
It would be hilarious. I wanted Puss in Boots 2 to win just because I thought it would be hilariously funny. Like, Guillermo del Toro goes like, hey, this is the longest stop-motion animated film ever.
It's beautiful.
Gorgeous film.
Great
and
film.
It loses to Puss in Boots 2.
You said it best in another video. You said Puss in Boots 2, a sequel to a spin-off of a Shrek universe film, beats a masterful, crafted, longest stop-motion film, Pinocchio. Like, how?
Oh,
How
it would
does
have
it
been
do that?
funny. Yeah, they wouldn't be... They would have taken a lot of flack for that. But
we're not memeing when we say we actually liked Puss in Boots 2 more.
No, I do like it more. That was the biggest snub of the night.
Yeah, for sure, biggest snub. But other than the films and whatnot, the other big Oscar news. So, what did you think about the donkey on stage and how there's a whole gag where also the donkey and Cocaine Bear was there and Malala was there, and it was just a concoction of like, what is going on?
Mostly cringe.
Mostly cringe.
But that's most Oscar comedians and jokes. It's just kind of how it is.
There weren't a lot of great bits. Usually between wins, you have, two people go up and announce the next winner, and you sometimes have comedians go up there and make jokes. There wasn't any standout hilarious one that stuck out to me.
What are we expecting if it's Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon? They're both
not Jimmy Kimmel. Between, how they have people go up on stage and they have one or two people introduce the next win. Like, usually they have a gag there. Like some comedian, I don't know, Will Ferrell goes up or something, and they have some funny bit to introduce the next films. I don't think they had one of those.
Yeah, there was the two actors for Creed 3.
Oh yeah, Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors, who's killing it this year.
Great actors. Yeah. They had weird, awkward chemistry when they were presenting together.
They were given a weird bit where it's like the camera had to lower. They were introducing cinematography, and there were a lot of pauses.
It was awkward.
Yeah, I don't think it's a fault of theirs, but just whoever gave that to him was just like, what? I thought they were going to banter, do something funny, but I mean, look at us again. We're going, oh, was it funny enough for us? Oh, like, we're such hypocrites. Make it funnier. Dance. Like, what?
Dance.
Like, who are we? So
I was bored for 3 seconds. Unacceptable.
You did not entertain me between when you announced this and this, okay? I need entertainment here. It's like, we're idiots. But also, the most touching moment of the night. Seriously, John Travolta announcing the memorial. And him losing his co-star. Someone said he lost his wife recently.
Yeah.
Is that? I didn't know that. But man, what a tearjerker. John Travolta introducing that. That was a big point in the night. And last thing I have here on my notes is there were a lot of slap jokes. A lot of Will Smith slap jokes. They did not ignore it.
A lot of slap jokes. Almost a touch too many. And I didn't think there could be too many Will Smith slap jokes.
I did really like when Jimmy Kimmel went and addressed, if there's any emergent situation, like with the slap last year, do exactly what you did. Nothing. Just keep doing nothing. We'll take care of it. It's just, that was a weird time last year.
Yeah.
What
the
happened?
thing is, it wasn't, they did worse than nothing. They also gave him a hug afterward, and people clapped when he got the Oscar. It's just like
they let him have his speech, which he kind of doubled down and went like, "Defend your family." And just it was a bad moment that Will Smith has now apologized for, but people are saying too late, and It is really sad because Will Smith, especially growing up, I grew up watching him and so many great films, and he has motivating stuff I've seen and just seems like a great dude. Everything I've seen from him, it seems like a great dude. And then that one moment, the moment where that's your biggest moment of your career, winning Best Actor at the Oscars, and for that to be spoiled by doing that, that's rough.
The saying of, behind every great man, there's a great woman. The opposite is also true. Behind every broken man is a bitter, vindictive woman.
Behind every Tudor Ramble co-star,
there's no women.
It's so true. That was really good. You filled that in for me perfectly. But you know what you guys could do to make our day?
Actually, subscribe down below.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, I'm getting this through. Vote Twix. Seriously. Like, that's the biggest, most important takeaway.
Vote down in the comments below. Snickers, if you want Austin booted off the podcast, and Twix if you want him to stay. Now, if you want him booted off the podcast, subscribe to our Patreon so we can get more money for a new editor.
What?
And we'll get him kicked off faster.
But what if people genuinely like Twix more and they don't want to support me?
Still give us money.
All right, that's been a Tudor Ramble episode, everybody.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.